Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great joy that the Department of International Relations of the ABCZ would like to welcome all of you to the Made in Brazil program at the 14th Expogenetics. Due to the pandemic, this event is following all of the guidelines created by the WHO, okay, and also of the local authorities. We have been testing everybody periodically. We have been keeping social distancing, and we have been following all the sanitary protocols so that we can ensure everybody's safety. We would like to thank Apex Brazil because for the last 18 years they have been trusting our work to take the Brazilian livestock to the four corners of the planet, okay? We would also like to thank MAPA and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Itamaraty, the embassies of Brazil, and the secretaries, SECONs, secretariats, because they continuously support us to open new markets. And so we are now doing the lives of the Brazilian cattle with the companies that participate in the project so that everybody can get to know them. We're focusing on getting new clients in Latin America, in the Middle East, and in Southeast Asia. Made in Brazil program today has a totally technical focus. And so we have the best professionals in the market regarding agribusiness. And the topics have been selected to enrich our topics even more. We're going to have the main professionals of the ABCZ responsible for each one of these areas and departments with us. And to welcome all of us, we're going to show a video of our president, Mr. Rivaldo Machado Borges, and also our Director of International Relations, Lady Ana Cláudia Mendes Souza. Welcome to the Expogenetics of 2021. Via Brazilian Cattle, we're going to show to you the best that our market has to offer. I would like to thank Apex, MAPA, the embassies of Brazil around the world, our sponsors, because they have given the opportunity to show to the rest of the world everything that we have. We're going to take part in Expogenetics 2021. I count on you. Hello, dear friends. Once again, from the Fernando Costa Park, we're going to show our program of the 2021 Expogenetics through you via our international studio of the Brazilian cattle. We're going to have the Made in Brazil program throughout this week with presentations from all of our partners. We're going to present to you the newest things in their work, and we're also going to show the documentary that we created with all the care in the world, with the history of the Zebu cattle, from our borders to other borders. Please follow us up during this week, okay? Welcome. And so now this is the message from our president and from our director of international relations, okay? So now let's have our first technical block. And so we're going to start our chat, a technical chat, and who's going to talk to us about PENAT, the National Program for the Assessment of Young Bulls, okay, is Lauro. Lauro is an expert in management, agribusiness management, and he's also responsible for the genetic improvement of the ABCZ. Welcome, welcome to all. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Lauro, please explain to us, what is PENAT and what does it represent today within genetic improvement? PENAT is the National Program for the Assessment of Young Bulls. It was created in 2010, so we are now in its second edition. It is the most democratic program for the improvement, genetic improvement, because it allows herders that work with the PMGZ, be them in Acre, in Paraíba, in Rio Grande do Sul, they can have more candidates and also to have a test, feeding and performance analysis. So it allows the participation, and for the animals that do well on this test, the distribution of these doses by the breeders from all over Brazil. Oh, wonderful. This is a wonderful program. It's very democratic. What are the main impacts that PENAT has had on the Brazilian bovine herd? Well, genetic improvement is a continuous process, okay? So we always have a growth. From the first year to the 11th year, which were related to the bulls of 2020, we distributed 115,000 doses for 744 herds in many, many Brazilian states. So this was the comprehensiveness of our distribution. But the herders that use the Penachi doses, we reached 2,600 breeders approximately. They buy the doses as well. So in the communication of the ABCZ in July, 387,000 artificial inseminations, more than the triple of the doses distributed, okay? And about 130,000 regarding new calves that were born. And so they are using AI, the calves are being born, and 54% of these calves, they are under this control, this weight control. So we improve it year after year, and it allows that herders from different states use this genetic material, and they can truly have an improvement in their herds. Very, very interesting. So for 12 years, Lauro, this has been done. Yes, this improvement program. It is a very inclusive program. Just like all the other actions of the APCZ, the herders can participate. It has a selection process. Well, the initial basis is done with a genetic evaluation or assessment. After that, the herder identifies of the animals, among the animals that they have, they select the superior animals. The ABCZ technician pays a visit to that farm or that ranch, and then after April, approximately April, the animals come to Faju, where we have the feeding performance and development. This test measures the weight gain of these animals, the feeding consumption, the residual feeding ratio, and then it does the ultrasound of the carcass to see how much meat was there, and so to see the coverage fat, that they have the function of maintaining the quality of the meat, the protection against the cold in the freezers, and the protection of the female cows. Yeah, and so we have also introduced in the Penachi the type assessment by the Ipemura's method. So these animals, besides being efficient, they gain a lot of weight, they have a good carcass, they are animals with a good reproduction system, and also with a good breed. Penachi, besides being a program for the production of calves and baby cows, okay, and we also know that it produces high quality bulls, and it would be very interesting for the international audience that is following up the work of the ABCZ, that this audience could take this program to their countries, and the ABCZ is here at your disposal so that we can implement a Penachi, a national program in their countries. Wow, this is great news. I was going to ask this. So the international audience, how can they participate? So is it possible to have an international Penachi? Yes, we can have a partnership. We can have a technical discussion with the ABCZ. Just like the PMGZ has been offered to other countries, Penachi is a program within the PMGZ, so they are going to be able to participate. And so those who already use the PMGZ. Yes, Penachi needs the PMGZ. Penachi is within the PMGZ, so we can see images of the test, the Penachi test. This moment was when we were assessing the bulls. And so we had 200 animals participating from the Brahman, Gruzerá, Nelore, and Tabapuã, okay? So we had many breeds. We had breeders, 99 breeders from 17 Brazilian states. So this is the inclusiveness that we talk about, the representativeness. So they are doing a test that after the Penachi index is concluded, we do this test so that the bulls can come to the Expogenética genetics, and those that are classified, they can distribute doses all over Brazil. And a very interesting characteristics is the genetic variability. In these 200 animals that started the test, among all of the breeds, we had 96 different bulls. So the genetic improvement in Brazil exists with genetic variability. And this makes us feel calm and nice, because the zebu cattle in Brazil is good for Brazil and good for the world. Yes, so we can take this from Brazil to the rest of the world. Lauro, what about if you want to take part in Penache, okay, how can they do? What do they have to do? Do they have to register? Yes, so we are going through this final phase that is taking place during the Expogenetics on Wednesdays on the 18th. We're going to have the assessment of the young bulls so that we can choose the 24 bulls that are going to represent Penache. We're going to have 2 Brahma bulls, 2 Gruzerá, 2 Nelore, 13 Nelore. So we're going to have 24 bulls in total. So the presentation of the results is going to be on the 19th of August, on Thursday, okay, here on ABCZ TV. And after that moment, at the end of the afternoon on Thursday, on our website, we're going to have a special place where all of the breeders can enter, and they can register, and they can choose bulls from all of these breeds to receive 30 doses from these bulls for free, free of charge. And so you can surf on the website and get, yes. So please pay attention so that you can follow our program. You can register, right, Lauro? Yes, and then you can ask your questions, and then if you are in doubt about anything, Lauro and our team are available. So we are going to distribute this semen all over Brazil to show that the Brazilian zebu has this testing area. So it's Brazil of Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil of Rio Grande do Sul. So the Penache zebu cattle, they are tested always. Lauro, talk a little bit with us about this edition. What is this edition? Why is this edition so special? Oh, it was wonderful because now we have the Guzerá breed for the first time after the performance test that started in 2017. So we had the Guzerá breed. 8 bulls participated, 4 were classified, and 2 are going to be the representatives of the 2021 Penache. And the Penache bulls of 2021, they are going to make history, okay? They're going to make history in the genetic improvement. So we are showing everything that we have, the best that we have. Tested bulls on their farms with genetic assessment via the performance test and the depth test, okay? Development, performance, feeding. I don't know if we have this kind of test in other countries with the Brahman test in other countries where we research the weight gain, the feeding consumption, the residual feeding consumption, the quality of the carcass, and the phenotype. So these bulls are superior. They pass the tests. So I'm sure that it's a complete test, and we are going to have the result. In these first 11 months that we had 175 bulls tested with their genetic quality, 92% of these bulls, they continue with a positive assessment, okay? And so this gives us a lot of security. We can use the Penache bulls, and if you use the Penache bulls, you're going to have a high quality herd. So the reproduction with high quality bulls is wonderful. Lauro, okay, now enjoy this moment. Please make your invitation to everybody in the audience. I know that you have already mentioned that. We should emphasize on Thursday, okay, on the 19th after 9 o'clock on the ABCZ channel, and on the 20th after 30 past noon by the ABCZ TV, we're going to have the Penache Bulls auction, and we're going to be able to distribute the genetics of these sires in Brazil. And during the auction, we're going to have surprises for you. Great animals are going to be offered, and some classified bulls and sires are going to be offered, okay? Thank you. And for countries that have sanitary protocols to import live animals, can they even take the bulls, the Penache bulls and sires? Yes, it is possible. But when the sires are classified, so they are going to freeze 600 doses to be handed out in Brazil. So if they buy the sires or the bulls, it is recommended that they're going to freeze the doses for the program. We can even freeze the semen for other countries, and then in the future they can have the quarantine and they can be exported. Excellent, excellent. Only good business, only wonderful results. So it's wonderful to take part in PENAT, the national program for the assessment of young bulls. It is a very, very democratic program for all of you, okay? Thank you so much, Lauro, for your participation. It added a lot of information. It shared a lot of information. Everything is good. I wish you a great success in this 14th edition of Penache. And let's wait for more novelties and more information. Thank you, Lauro. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have another block. We're going to have wonderful things, okay? Our story started in Uberaba and now it's told all over the planet, a history of people with a highly qualified team, and they're always trying to overcome our clients' expectations. And they offer excellence in each thing that they do, ensuring the highest level of quality. Are you interested in taking the quality of the animals and products that Brazil has to offer? Think about Alvo Agro, solutions that feed the world. Alvo Agro. Innovation. It has changed our lives. In order for you to buy it, to sell during your leisure time, to move around, it is present in your routine, and that's why it is present. Innovation is also present in our DNA. A line of products, a complete line of products with high quality that aims to facilitate the routine of animal reproduction animals with practicity, with a high cost benefit, because for us, your results are the most important. I would like people that came to this place to see first the work of serious, hardworking people. Work that we're only going to show to people, cows that are beautiful, cows that are fertile, cows that are dairy cows. Our main objective is to allow to give the market embryos from Girolando and Gir of the most important cows and best cows that we have here. In 2020, even though we had many difficulties, the livestock sector didn't stop. Papalotla has invested a lot in development and research. In 2021, it has brought to the Brazilian and Latin American market the best grasses, okay, adapted to climatic change. It's the right investment so that you can increase the production of your herd. We have broken all the records of exports. Our cattle is the best. We have more than 50 years of experience. Innovation, always with all of our strength and hard work. So a legacy that has over 80 years dedicated to the selection of the Cindy breed, generations that have become more and more perfect, and they have improved the natural traits of the herd. So Cindy Castilho has an absolute representativeness in this breed, and it is a true oasis of quality. And we are trying to spread and disseminate information, and also we are trying to share the multiple qualities of the Cindy. More than a legacy, it's a mission. Fazendas Reunidas Castilho, hard work of our family for your family. Cindy Castilho. Hello. Now we're going to welcome here to start our another block. Here we have technology, the Director of International Relations, Mrs. Ana Cláudia Mendes Souza. Welcome, Mrs. Ana Cláudia. Hello. Good evening. This is our home, because Ana is totally at home. Yes, this home that we love so much. Yes, let's follow with her program. Perfect. So, today's topic is what are the procedures so that we can export genetic material officially, and to open up the work of our first Made in Brazil program of the 2021 Expogenetics, Dr. Bruno Cotta. He is the coordinator of transit and animal quarantine at MAPA, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock. Welcome, Dr. Bruno. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Ana. Hello, Bruno. Welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you. I'm totally at your disposal. Dr. Bruno has a degree in veterinary from the Federal University of Minas Gerais since 2004. He has been a federal auditor at the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, MAPA, and for the second time, he is the Animal Transit and Quarantine Coordinator at the SDA. He has vast experience in veterinary with emphasis on animal sanitary defense, working mostly with legislation, auditing, animal transit, and also animal product inspections. And he works with legislation and auditing. He has already been the head of the National Transit of Animals and Animal Quarantine in the Animal Health Department. And he has also been the head of the inspection of meat, of ostriches, and also animal origin products. Doctor, make yourself at home. You may start. Thank you. And so this head, I I was there between 2014 and 2015. Since 2019, I'm here as the coordinator, okay, at the STA. Thank you, sir. So, Ana, there is there is a presentation. Do you have the presentation, please? Can you upload my presentation, please? Yes, sir. While we wait, well, Bruno, thank you so much for your participation, all the work that we have done together. We and you at MAPA, at the Ministry of Agriculture, we can see the market that is thriving now. We are having a very interesting opening of the market, and we know how important your work has been. You have been helping us with our demands, our problems, okay, our partners here. And so I would truly like to thank you. At this moment, I really would like to share all of your experience, all of your know-how in such an important event such as this one. Yes, because Expogenetics is here with all the technology available, and with you, with us, it's even better, right? Yes, and our partnership is very important. This kind of partnership tries to open the markets. So MAPA is working with the sanitary issues. We're trying to sign the agreements regarding animal health, and you guys work with the commercial aspects and issues. That's how we expand the agribusiness market here in Brazil. And we have been overcoming all of the obstacles, okay, so that we can take our zebu cattle to the countries that are looking us up, contacting us. And this year we have a very interesting documentary, and the title of the documentary is totally connected to the work that MAPA does. And you guys have been helping us from our borders to other borders. So we know what this means for Brazil, right? And so the Brazilian Cattle Project, jointly with APEX or APEX and MAPA, yes, the Ministry of Agriculture, little by little we have been achieving this. We know that this work is not easy. Sometimes it takes us a long time for us to sign an agreement, to be able to get a protocol, and our understanding with our breeders, okay? It has been maturing with all of this demand and with all of this learning curve. Your presentation is totally at your disposal, okay? Thank you. Okay? Okay, so let's go. So, procedures for exporting genetic material. Let's understand this as a process. It's a very complex process that has many, many phases. First of all, the establishment has to be registered at MAPA. It can be the CCPS, the CCPE, or the CPIVE. Once they are registered, there is going to be the commercial interest, and we're going to receive a demand, an international demand of semen and embryos. And the first thing that can be done is there a sanitary protocol between MAPA and the official veterinary services of your country? If you already have this certificate, it's going to be made available at CISEC, which is the MAPA system, okay? Because we require certificates. Anybody can access it, okay? And all of the agreements that MAPA has already signed, they are going to be uploaded onto the system, and anybody can do that. You can type this name on Google, CISEP, MAPA, and then you're going to receive the system with all of the documents, the sanitary documents. If there is no document, we are going to start a negotiation. And this is what Ana mentioned. So we're going to start this process. We're going to start this process consulting what are the prerequisites of animal health in your country. And so we're going to receive the requisites. And then, based on these requisites, we're going to start working to the best of our abilities. If there is a possibility of a total certificate of that, it's easier. The certificate is done in a short period of time. It's sent to be approved by the sanitary officials of that country. If there is no authorization, complete authorization, we are going to work with an equivalence, a document that is equivalent. And so they're going to ensure similar guarantees. And so in that case, we're going to have a negotiation. It's going to take a little longer because we're going to send them a counter proposal, wait for the response from the officers of that government. It's always between governments. It's the Ministry of Agriculture, MAPA, and the government officials of the other country. And so we receive a counter proposal, and then they answer, they respond or not, and then we sign a protocol. And as Ana mentioned, depending on the country, depending on the requirements, this can take days, weeks, months, or several years, depending on the protocols. And we are trying to sign for a long time with some countries. Once we sign this protocol, it's going to go to CISEC, as I mentioned, and if there is a need to enable the sales central that is going to sell the genetic material, this is going to be done by the importing country, and then we're going to send all the documents that are necessary that MAPA is responsible for, a technical report that we have, and then we can go to the central office to see, can you fulfill this sanitary agreement? And so if the technical report is positive, sometimes there is a questionnaire that has to be responded by the central office, some basic questions, and sometimes a questionnaire that MAPA has to fill in as the central agency, and then we send it to the country to be analyzed. Sometimes there is a fee to be paid by the central office, and this only involves the private companies. So MAPA does not interfere in this. We only send it to the official officer of that country. okay, because we have international relations with that country. So we always do this via our diplomats, okay? And it's done by our Secretariat of International Relations. And then when we receive this formal enabling, then the procedures can start. Basically, if we have an interest of exporting or importing, in order for a donor animal to go to a central office, okay, to produce semen, there are some phases that must be fulfilled. And then you find this in the normative instruction 48. There is a pre-quarantine in the origin farm. We carry out some lab tests, and these are essential so that jointly with the exams that are going to be done during the quarantine, which is the next phase, the CCPS is the Centers for the Collection and Processing of Semen, CCPS. And then they can become semen producers if they pass the test. So in the origin farm, okay, if he passes all the tests, then this animal becomes a residing animal. And then, depending on the requirements of the country that is going to buy the genetic material, some tests, additional tests, to the ones that are part of this normative instruction number 48 of 2003 in the national herd, so that we can supply to the national market, okay? So if there is the need to have additional tests, this is going to be part of the certificate that was agreed upon with that country in the protocol, and then the donors have to be submitted to these additional tests, okay? To see if their health is okay, so that the materials can be exported. All of these additional tests, when they are required, they're going to be part of the certificate, and they're going to be made available at the CISEC system at MAPA, our system. So after these phases are overcome, okay, so the animals are part of the residing herds, okay, then the party interested in these animals, okay, they they can do these tests, okay, in our states, also in Uberaba in the state of Minas Gerais. And so they ask for the animal to enter. After everything is okay, our national auditor is going to issue a certificate once all of the requirements have been fulfilled, achieved. They're going to fill in all the certificate. They're going to close the tank, seal the tank, the embryo tank, and then they're going to send it to the exporting tank. And then the material can go to the importing country. I would like to emphasize just a few things, okay? I focused a lot on the pre-embryo, okay? So we try to sign the sanitary agreements, following the requisites, okay, of the country's authority. And so once we do that, the certificate is okay, the procedures are okay. And so we look for the representatives from that state. We verify the animal health requisites. There is a possibility of issuing the certificate, which is a document that follows the cargo up until the destination, okay? And that's fundamental for importing the material, and Brazil requires that too. And then the exporting is done successfully. Basically, that's it, okay? Dr. Bruno, wow, thank you for the wonderful explanation and the clarifications to all of us. So I would like to clarify, I have two questions for you, two questions for us. So what can you tell us about the meaning of the CCPE, the other abbreviation, the CCPIV? We know that they are technical, and there are an important difference between them. So please, can you explain the acronyms for us so that we can understand it? Okay. The CCPS is the Center for the Collection and Processing of Semen. The CCPE is the Center for the Collection and Processing of Embryos. And the CCPIVE is the Center for the Collection and Processing of the oocytes. Oocytes, okay? Okay? on a petri dish, and then the embryo are going to be produced. So the in vivo embryo, it is collected from the female cow that is going to receive the semen. It's going to be fertilized by the semen. The female cow is going to produce the embryos. In vitro, you have a petri dish. You're going to inseminate the oocytes with the semen, and then you're going to produce the embryos. Some protocols, they make a difference between embryos. Since we're talking about this, some sanitary protocols, they are done only for embryos that are produced in vivo and collected in vivo, and other protocols accept in vivo and in vitro. There is a sanitary difference, okay? And in vitro embryos have more care. It depends on the country that is going to import the embryos. As MAPA, we want the market to be open to all the modalities, in vivo and in vitro. And we also have the second question, that is to clarify a little bit more of your answer, that most of the countries require that the collection of embryos is carried out in the central office, at the CCPE or at the CCPIVE. But only a few countries allow the collection to be done in the origin farm or range. So, Dr. Bruno, which countries accept the collection at the original farm, please, or origin farm? Well, in fact, to tell you the countries, I would I would have to verify all of the certificates. But in general, since all of the certificates have been made public, the difference is when you get the certificate and there is the sentence, the donors went to a center for a collection of embryos, the female cows have to be there. If on the certificate there is a sentence that the collection team or the embryos were collected in a rural establishment, in a collection center by an accredited team, and this team was accredited by MAPA, I'm going to give you an example of Canada. So a team that was accredited by MAPA can carry out this collection on the origin farm. So the donor is there at a CCPE. And so we're going to see this in the certificate. There's going to be a mention of the CCPE, the Center for the Collection and Processing of Embryo. Oh, thank you. Your answers were really clarifying, really wonderful. You have clarified our doubts, so thank you. Thank you so much for your participation, Dr. Bruno, and may we have more demands, okay? And may we have more projects and work together so that we can share more clarifications. Thank you so much, Dr. Bruno, for your participation, for MAPA support, and also for APEC support. Thank you, Ana. And if you are in doubt about anything, my contact is it's going to be made available, and so we're going to try to answer you as quickly as possible. If you have any questions, you have my contact, and I'm going to be here. Thank you so much, Dr. Bruno. On behalf of our team, thank you. And also on behalf of our breeders, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bruno. So now, let's have a short break, and then we're going to come back with much more. Thank you. People say that it's always wonderful to look ahead into the future so that we can see the future. But sincerely speaking, we sometimes look at the past and we see a wonderful tomorrow. 57 years of a lot of knowledge, a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. So from then, now, many, many things have changed, and many, many things will still change. So Casale transforms the field and the farms make their own history. Casale. Recognized in the home market and abroad, Genio brings important innovations for the livestock sector. Recently, Genio reached an important record of the animal biotechnology, 8 clones of a unique matrix of the Cindy cattle breed, a huge mark that represents the strength of Genio company as a conductor of innovation for the sector. Upgrade and speed up your genetics. We are a whole biotech lab. We are genial. The history of genetics, the history of an entire life, a modern herd with constant renovation and innovation, superior generations with consistency, with balance, with functionality, with harmony. Navidaí bulls, the soul and the biotype of the modern Nelore breed. Our story started with entrepreneurship that transformed us into the greatest company, Ouro Fino, and our main objective is to improve animal health. We are based on innovation. We want to cooperate and we want to build and nourish relationships. And we follow our commitment to challenge the traditional way of thinking. And we would like to have sustainability when it comes to animal health. Ouro Fino, to inspire, to take care, to produce and develop. ABS Brazil is the greatest biotechnological company in the world. And so we take care of the well-being and biosecurity of our animals. We have modern laboratories to ensure quality. We have sex genetics and embryos. So it's the first when it comes with superior female cows, okay? We are present in over 75 countries around the world for over 80 years. ABS, genetic progress, and also increasing your profitability. And so we have been producing Brahman breed for over 15 years. And so we have superior animals, always with objective assessments. We make only genetic available that reflects the quality of our production and that we are able to meet the demands of the best herders. Brahman Braunas, welcome to our genetics. To improve the animal productivity and also to help feed the world is our mission, and we are connected to the rural producers and farmers. Okay, reliability is built over time by doing the right things the right way. We have been in operation since 1904 and producing seeds. Barenbrook has seeds for forage based on experience and quality. We are Barenburg. Barenbrug. Make life beautiful. Hello, we are back from the international studio of the ABCZ. Thank you so much for the participation of our International Relations Director, Mrs. Ana Cláudia. Thank you so much for being here. It was wonderful. Let's remain together because we have many other topics to discuss. Thank you so much for being with us as well. And now we have to start, okay? Since today is the first program, you're here, part of the team. Welcome to our team. Thank you so much for your trust. So now I'm going to have a documentary that was done with a lot of love and dedication by all of the Brazilian cattle team. So you're all here invited to follow up this documentary that was done especially for you. The Brazilian agribusiness is unique, it's competitive, it has no comparison. If you see the cattle in our pastures, you can see how we produce with lots of competence and love. Our pastures, they look more like gardens. Instead of flowers, we see animals, we see forage, we see plantations, we see forests coexisting in harmony for the production of food. This is what we call the integration between forest, agriculture, and livestock. This is the second revolution in our rural production in the 21st and in the 20th centuries. So the first revolution was in the 1970s with the creation of the Brazilian Company of Agri Livestock that opened up the savanna biome for the world. So these places were considered not proper for the production, and now they are wonderful places for the production of wonderful food for Brazil. Brazil is a huge country with many kinds of climates and vegetation, and the sciences were able to transform it after studies and transformed Brazil in a giant capable of feeding millions and millions of inhabitants of our planet. And so livestock has two main agents, the potential, okay, to adjust and adapt the zebu breeds and also the forages that we have in Brazil. Zebu entered in Brazil, imported from India in 1870. But it was after the middle of the 20th century that imports became higher. Up until 1962, when the importing of animals were closed, the Brazilian livestock producers, they were true visionaries. They had introduced in Brazil, according to our historical registry, 7,000 animals that multiplied exponentially because they adapted easily to Brazil. And nowadays, they are responsible for over 80% of the national herd. With about 220 million head. And so our pastures are full of zebu cattle. And so we have the biggest, the largest breed in the world. And we export to over 180 countries. And when we see the scenario of our food company, outdoors, we understand why the Brazilian livestock is so unique. Some people conspire against the tropical production of beef and dairy, saying that the result of the Brazilian success is due to the lack of respect to the environment and that we didn't respect our biomes. But it has been made clear that the main reason for this position is the lack of knowledge of our production methodology. Those that question the sustainability of the Brazilian livestock does not consider the wonderful work done by scientists, technicians, and also the determination of the men and women of several generations of families. They are responsible for making our rural areas successful. And we also have to count on many, many studies that guarantee the sequestration of carbon done by our forests and livestock. And we use the most modern handling and recovery techniques. Okay, we combine the livestock production and forest, and we have been expanding our areas all over Brazil. According to the researchers from Embrapa, no professional category preserves more native species than our agricultural producers and livestock producers. About 6.7%, over 1/4 of our natural country and territories are to preserve native species. So we have forests and intact forests inside the farms. Those that preserve our biodiversity the most are our farmers, according to Embrapa territory. In Brazil, the richness of our livestock did not come down from heaven. And so they were achieved via hard work, responsibility of each member of the production chain. That include livestock producers and also genetic researchers. They are the ones responsible for the selection and distribution of genetics that come from animals that are highly and well selected. A good sire is not born out of the blue. It is, we need many technologies, a lot of knowledge, and mainly a lot of love to produce these animals. Everything starts by the sires, choosing the sires and the female cows. We carry out the genetic and genomic assessments, and they must have the right biotype via the breeding and the technology and our highly qualified techniques. We take the first step to create wonderful animals, balanced, productive, of high quality. In Brazil, our ranchers, they produce based on technical, high quality technical information. And also we can count on the support of the ABCZ, because the ABCZ has the largest database of zebu breed, okay? And we have a lot of information, many other technologies such as artificial insemination, in vitro fertilization, DNA tests, genomic tests, purity tests, and zootechnic tests. They can also be used along the processes and our procedures. But all of these technologies, they wouldn't be as successful as we didn't have the talent and the hard work of our breeders and their workers. They ensure the best care given to the animals. They do rational treatment, reproductive treatment, the best nutrition. They worry about the well-being of our animals. They worry about the quality of the environment. Come rain or come shine, every single day of the year, we can count on the dedication of these wonderful workers, because they treat their animals, their mission in life, and they take care of these animals to the best of their abilities, so that these animals can show all of their genetic quality and reproduction. And so our livestock never stops. So we have the sires that are going to be the fathers of the next generations, and more investments, more and more technologies are implemented. And so we are going to have better and better animals, and we're going to improve our production of dairy products and beef, so that we can feed people all over the world. And so none of this would be possible without one of the greatest riches of Brazil, the hands and the hearts of our people, the families who live on the farms. We have researchers, we have technicians. They're creating the best conditions and environments for our animals, and so that we can produce more. All of this production is based on the strictest animal legislation in the world. And 21% of our territory produces animals. And Brazil produces with quality and huge value. And we are the greatest exporter of beef. And we also have a harvest that in 2020 and 2021 is going to be of about 300 tons of food. And it's important to mention that Brazil preserves 60% of its territory, according to Embrapa. Producing with wisdom, taking care with love, and producing with responsibility and safety and security. These are our values. We're going to continue working and producing with quality, so that we can feed our families and your families anywhere in the world. And so you have seen the documentary. It's the first episode of the documentary. How beautiful, wasn't it? It was done with lots of love from Brasilia Cattle to you. And so wait a little bit more, because during the next programs we're going to show more. And so now let's present to you the live circuit of the Brazilian cattle of the companies that take part in our project, so all of you can get to know them. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. we're going to have the live by ASBIA, the Brazilian Association of Artificial Insemination. They're going to share the results with us. and it's going to be broadcasted on the ABCZ TV. And at 6 p.m., we're going to be here again, once again, with our topic tomorrow. How to choose the ideal forage for your area with the participation of Professor Leandro Barbeiro. And we're going to also talk about the commercial PMGZ with Mr. Ricardo Abreu. That's it. This is the 2021 Expogenetics arriving at your home or at your office, no matter where you are in the world. So the maximum yield in the field is what the cattle, the modern cattle produces. We must have innovation and technology. And so we produce high. So for 40 years, Maripá has been investing in genetic improvement of its animals, focusing on maintaining the quality, the high quality of each breed. For over 20 years, we have been producing Nelore breed in Mato Grosso, in the Amazon biome. And so we have the best biotechnologies. We offer sustainability. We are committed to the environment. We have social responsibility. All of this is present in the Maripá production. We are always prioritizing the quality. Amar Guzerá has achieved many, many prizes throughout its successful history, becoming today an international reference of the breed. So the selection now is based on a herd that has competitive animals, they are productive, and above all, they meet the market's demands. They are trying to have high quality genetics. Guzerá Amar, the DNA of the modern Guzerá. The future is not tomorrow, okay? The future is already right here. The future happens right here. There's only future where there is potential in terms of technology, in terms of the personnel that we have, and in our potential, we have genetics. Producing more beef, producing more milk, producing more development. This is our strength. Alta. Wherever there is potential, there is the certainty, there is the future. Alta. Success stories do not happen overnight. Even the greatest and the most revolutionary projects, they start from a simple idea connected to the will to grow. Okay, we need hard work, we need growth, and our main focus is on results. And Coima has become a serious company, and we try to offer day after day the best solutions for each client. And we have the necessary support and the growth of this in Brazil. Coima, technological innovation for livestock production. ABCZ created FAZU so that we could offer capacity building to professionals. I graduated in zootechnique many years ago, and I have been working at ABCZ for 34 years. FAZU, for many, many years, is teaching Bolivians and offering a degree. I studied zootechnique in FAZU in 1999, and I also did my postgraduate studies. And now today I'm the leader of Alvo Agro, okay? For over 100 years, Wolf Seeds has been highlighted by its pioneering, by its competence and innovation when it comes to agribusiness. It's the only company that has the ISO 9001 certificate, and we guarantee quality and profitability to our clients. Everything starts with Wolf Seeds. I always created everything in my life, dogs, fish, cows, horses. And so I always liked to do genetic selection. This was always my true passion. And then embryos, that is our main objective, is the greatest accelerator so that producers can have a high quality herd in a short period of time. So I have great satisfaction in being here at the Zebu embryo.